I've fallen and I can't get up.
Let's go.
There's no skit today because the new startup AI company Friend already made one, and there's no way I can top this level of irony and sarcasm and humor. I was so convinced when watching this that this had to be some kind of SNL skit, right? We've had so many AI scams and so many AI flops between the Humane AI pin and the Rabbit R1, all of which making us all go, wait a second, AI is not a product, it is a feature. So eloquently put by Marquez in his video, Apple was dropping Apple Intelligence features, basically showcasing that, by the way, most of these large language models, they're not that great for imagery, I'm sorry. All of the AI generated crap looks incredibly AI generated. It ain't that useful. It's good for proofreading your emails. It's just like autocorrect 2.0. This whole thing is just a big joke. It's a whole marketing train like 5G. But then Friend had to drop something today. Checks all of the AI boxes like vague familiar name, doesn't do very much, and pre-orders are ready to go live. And my god, this is mind-blowing how dystopian it genuinely feels. But basically, they dropped through a tweet and through a YouTube video this product that you wear around your neck. It's a necklace with a little dongle, just something else in your tech world that you're gonna have to charge. And you just click this little button whenever you want it to judge you in some way, shape, or form. But why are you charging it? Does it talk to you? Does it have a camera? Is it taking pictures and videos? No, it's not doing any of those things. All it's doing is listening. It's constantly listening, training its own AI, which is probably being sent to some server that they claim is all end-to-end encrypted. Yeah, right. And then whenever you push on it, it gives you its take on the current set of audio that it has most recently interpreted. So they showcase how eloquently this is supposed to work. Not launching until next year, but take a look for yourself.
Woo! I don't know how to woo very good.
Insanity.
Wow! Okay, so what this really showed me is that these startup companies have figured out that AI can't actually be very useful, so instead of trying to come up with functional things for it to do, like call an Uber or order pizza, no, we're not gonna have it do any of those things because it's too complicated. So instead, we're just gonna turn it into your friend that is also useless, that is basically just trained to give you the same information over and over again, or meant to reaffirm you of your bad decision making, or of course, separate you more from the real world. The most hilarious thing about this trailer, which is supposed to get you excited or get you eager to try the AI product, is how many people using it genuinely don't seem to care or like using it. Like, this has to be one of my favorite examples.
I hate this game.
Take notes, baby.
Oh man, you guys suck.
Bro, you look like the back
Let's
of the...
go.
So the guy sucks at playing a video game, and even without him pressing the button on his friend, his virtual friend amongst his true friends tells him that he's embarrassing for not being very good at the game. Like, we needed more of that in our day-to-day lives. Like, you're not gonna get any better at that game by actually paying attention. No, you need more mockery coming from a large language model on your phone. Especially his reaction is just priceless. Like, he reads the notification, and you can immediately see the regret on his eyes, like, oh my god, I spent $99 on a device that's roasting me. Absolutely priceless. And if you thought that was good, it only gets funnier as the commercial progresses. So next, we have a girl eating some falafel, watching a movie, where the little robot friend asks how the falafel is. Why does it need to know that? Would it ever be able to taste falafel in the first place? People are already complaining about smartphones being too addictive. At least the Humane AI pin and the Rabbit R1 were trying to get us to use our phones less. This is directly just trying to create more notifications on your phone that are simply answering pointless questions, like a robot asking you how falafel is, or telling you that a show you're already in the middle of watching is underrated. But why the heck do we need more notifications when we're in the middle of watching content already? You'd like more interruptions? You've heard of Do Not Disturb mode? Now we have Disturb mode? That's the next inevitable piece of the puzzle? Her reaction is fantastic too, by the way. She immediately responds with,
It's dank. I could eat one of these every day.
it's dank? That's all you could think of? All of these cool, fancy future AI startups that are trying to find investors that are willing to drop millions of dollars on horrible Tamagotchi ideas, and in your way of trying to make it cool and hip and mainstream, you thought of it's dank with the description of falafel? Oh my god, if this is the kind of data that's being used to train these large language models, imagine how much worse this is going to be. Like, this is the trailer. Usually it's in these trailers and previews years where the software and the hardware is working like flawlessly and works way, way better than it actually does when they actually start shipping these things. And yet, even in these circumstances, it's quite embarrassing. But to top it all off, the main reason I had to believe this was a joke and I had to believe this was some kind of parody was the final use case that they show at the end. It was so embarrassing. It was so cringe, where you just have this couple at the top of a building. And, okay, just watch it for yourself.
Nice up here. How'd you find this place?
I don't know. Bruh. I just kind of like to come up here to be by myself. I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
She goes everywhere with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Guess I must be doing something right then.
I guess so. We'll see.
Insanity.
So first off, our main lead, the user that bought the friend for $99, is looked at, in my opinion, kind of like a crazy person. I don't know how this is supposed to make the product look good in any way, shape, or form when the guy is literally straight up acknowledging, oh yeah, you wear that thing everywhere, don't you? Then he like uncomfortably is looking around like, how do I get away from this woman? Can I get out of this situation? And the whole flagship feature that's supposed to be like the mic drop moment is the fact that she reaches to tell her friend how things are going and yet decides not to? So the whole flagship moment, the whole peak of this commercial is the fact that it's really special. You'll find yourself in a really crucial moment with a potential partner that you're flirting around with when you realize that you shouldn't be using this product in the first place. That's the big moment. Like, that's the big realization, is you start to figure out, wait a second, I wasted $99. And again, that's in the trailer. That's the way they're advertising it. Because they couldn't find a way to make AI functional, they're now turning it into a pointless notification machine that is constantly listening to you, probably constantly consuming power, which now, of course, you're going to have to charge as well. It only works on iOS, by the way. They're probably convinced that Apple sheep are the only ones dumb enough to fall for a product like this. And I was really, really genuinely hoping that this was actually just a big giant IQ test. Like, you would go on the website, you would go to pre-order it, and the moment you hit like buy now, there'd immediately be that gif of the cat laughing at you like, you just tried to spend $99 on a virtual friend. Like, you need to get out more. You need to touch grass, get away from the internet, get away from Discord, get away from social media. Like, oh my god, I disagree with this product and this company so many different ways. There is no better way to make friends than actually getting out and try. There's not some large language model that's gonna help you practice, help you figure out how to actually put yourself out there, because it's not a human being. Even if it came up with some kind of virtual looking assistant, that's still gonna be artificial, and you still know you can turn it off at any given moment. You can shut it down, or you can unplug it, or you can leave it behind, which is not the way human beings operate. From a fundamental level, even if this product was flawless, even if it was just like the movie Her, I still fundamentally disagree with everything that this company is trying to do. First off, the concept that we need to find more form factors for consumer electronics, like the smartphones, our AirPods, our Apple Watches, our laptops, and our TVs, and our smart speakers. That's not enough consumer tech in our lives. Like, everybody's trying to find another form factor, another footprint that we can spend money on upgrading every year. That's a lie, and that's something I want to combat, for one. And for two, trying to convince investors that they should invest in something simply because it says AI, even though you have no functionality, no utility to add to the world. That's strike two for me. And then for three, the concept that everyday people should consider buying this and wearing it so that when they're running or when they're playing games with their friends, they can ask their AI how it's interpreting different sound going on around it, so that you're not having to socialize as much, or that you feel more socially equipped to go with other friends. Like, straight up on the website, it was saying things like, we wanted to make this product for lonely people. Well, I mean, clearly that's probably what it's marketed towards, but this is like giving crack to a drug addict. If someone is a lonely person, it is not good at socializing, a large language model being branded as a friend is absolutely the last possible thing they need. I mean, maybe they don't get along with human beings very well, but now you want to communicate purely through smartphone screens? You want to do all of the communication through texting and notifications? I mean, maybe start with a cat or a dog. Like, maybe they could be an animal person. That's a good start. And then over time work their way up to a human being as a real friend. But oh oh my god, like, geez, what kind of world are we living in that we actually have to explain that this is a bad idea? And I'm seeing, you know, obviously a lot of negative replies on Twitter, but there's seriously some people that are actually excited or supportive of this. To me, is just, oh god, how desperate are we in the tech community for anything exciting or interesting? This is a bad sign if people are actually believing in this kind of crap, but please, for the love of God, do not support this company. Do not pre-order these things. I'm afraid that there's going to be way too many YouTubers and way too many media companies that genuinely, just out of boredom, because they're running out of things to talk about, are pre-ordering this thing, ironically, so that they can review it. And no, I'll save you the time. This thing isn't shipping until 2025. Guys, it's not worth it, okay? It's going to be buggy. It's not going to have great battery life. You're going to forget to bring it along because it's not a utility or functional focus device. It's just literally an AI bot that doesn't know you very well and will add notifications to your phone, which you don't need more of. If anything, we need less of that. Let's use AI, at least in Apple's form, to reduce interruptions, to reduce the number of notifications we get, and to summarize things more often so that we spend less time on our phones, not more time on our phones, which is basically everything this thing is going for. There's one positive thing I could say about it. There's no membership. It's a $99 one-time fee, but you know it would be cheaper than that? Not buying it at all. So please, for the love of God, just do that. This is not going to be worth it. This, to me, is an indication that AI is clearly a fad. It's a feature, not a product. Just leave it at that, people. God, okay. Thanks for everybody for supporting. You're all great. This is your Apple Sheep here, and try to think with more than 2 brain cells.